Okay, going to take you through cleaning your carbs, the float bowls in this instance. Now these carbs are off Fireblade 98 model on RRW. I've already cleaned the bowls on the on 1 to 3. We're going to just clean the float bowl on number 4. So first of all, remove the 3 screws, securing the cover. Put them off like that. Third one. Right, this one's a little bit tighter. They shouldn't be too tight. You should be able to undo these fairly easily, as long as no one's been in there before and over tightened everything. So remove the screws, lift the cover off, place that carefully to one side, and in there you can see the different aspects here. We've got the main jet there, the float bowl obviously here, the pilot adjustment screw there. So what we're going to do, we're just going to remove all the jets, give it a good clean out and a blow through. So first of all, we'll start with the pilot screw. Now before you start undoing this, you need to check how far out it's unscrewed. Now the stock setting should be 2 turns out, so the way to do it is to take it in and carefully measure. So it's half a turn, 1 turn, 1.5 turns, 2 turns, 2.5 turns, 3 turns, 3.5 turns. So that's almost 4 turns there. So that is far too far out. Like I say, stock is 2 turns. I've got some airbox mods and some other mods to my bike, a full exhaust system, ported head. So I'm going to set mine 3 turns out, so slightly richer than stock. So what we do, we'll pull this all the way out now so we can clean behind it. Lift it out, and what that is, the hopefully you can see that okay, that is the actual pilot needle. And one thing which has been left behind inside is a washer and also an O-ring in there, and I can see a little bit of dirt in here, so this is a good job so there's the spring, so there's a spring goes on there, and right at the bottom, and these can be tricky to get out, there's the washer, pop that down there. And there's the O-ring is still left in here. Now these can be a pain to remove, so what I'm going to do, so I don't damage it, I'm just going to use a very small M5 bolt just to slowly ease it out. Like I say, you really don't want to damage this unless you've got replacements to go in, because it will affect your idle. Still, doesn't want to come out of there. Let's just flip this over, try and knock it out gently. As I say, these can be a pain. I've already done the other 3, and every one of them was a bit tricky. Ideally I could do something like a small pin or something to there we go. So there we have, I'll just show you what we've got there. Those are that's the pilot needle in bits there. So what we will do is we'll now continue and we remove the other jets. So let's remove the main jet and its holder. You know, be very careful when removing this stuff, and don't put it anywhere where it's going to get lost or knocked on the floor, because you'll never find it all. So there's the main jet. So nothing should be really tight in here. the other jet, and I'm gonna remove the float bowl as well, so we can give it a good clean out in here. I'll just pull the retaining pin. It's gonna have to. It's just retained by the cover, so you just literally have to push it over slightly and then get hold of it with a small pair of pliers. Here it comes. Move the pin, and the float bowl should lift out, and then you have the needle underneath of the bowl there. So slowly take that all apart, just rest it down. So I don't know if you can see in there okay. That is the stripped out everything out there, and there's everything I've removed awaiting cleaning. Okay, so now what you want to do ideally is spray some carb cleaner inside of there. Now unfortunately I've just used the last of mine, so I'll try and, no, that's completely gone. So I need some more carb cleaner, but what you do, liberally spray carb clean all over there, and then you need some compressed air to blow everything through. You get out all of the dirt and grime. Be careful when you're doing this, you don't blow all of your needles off the table and your O-rings. Okay, so I'm going to get some more carb. I've got to change my main jets anyway as part of this, so for now I'll just put it back together, and I'll do some carb cleaner in there when I do the jets later. Okay, so just blowing out the actual jets there. So that's the main jet. Another one there. And I'll just wipe off the pilot jet. Put the spring back on. If you can see this, the little washer, and then at the very end goes the O-ring. Just inspect the O-ring, make sure it's not split or showing any signs of damage. Mine's okay, so it should just rest over the end like that, and then that's ready to be reinserted carefully, making sure the O-ring stays on. Slide it down, just do a few turns for now. Then the float bowl, make sure that's clean. Inspect the actual needle at the end, make sure you've got a fine point on there and it's not showing any wear on there, and just slots inside of the float like that, and then carefully slide it back in and take your pin and just secure the float bowl in place again. That's a little bit tricky when you've got, there we go, just slide it in, and that'll be retained by the cover, so you don't have to worry about that coming out. So that's everything back in now. All I need to do is just nip things up again. So let's just nip up the main jet. Now remember, you're not, this is turning, it's sort of tight towards, I'm not getting towards the end of the thread yet. It's got some thread lock on it, so you feel it, just give it a tiny pinch. You don't need to jump on those, just a little pinch. Let's wind in the other jet, just a tiny nip. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll just adjust the pilot screw now. Like I say, stock on the 98RRW is 2 turns out, so wind it all the way in. Don't over tighten it or you'll actually damage the jet itself. So just turn it gently until it stops, make a note, and then count the turns. I normally do it half a turn at a time, so that's half, 1 turn, 1.5, 2 turns, and that would be stock. I'm going to go slightly richer than that, 2.5 turns, That's 3 turns. So this is what I was at 3.5 turns, but it's a little bit rich on idle. It would start without choke, so I'm going to take it down by half a turn. Should really make sort of 1/4 of a turn adjustments, but you know, you can do this on the bike, but it is fiddly. So I'm going to go for it. Mine was very rich, so I'm going to go for a full half turn and then see what it's like and then adjust it from there. So that's that. Then replace, just check your gasket's okay. I see someone's used some gasket sealant on that in the past by the look of it. If you can just see the little bit of red gasket material around there. It's you should ideally replace those, but parts for these carbs now are getting hard to find and they're also very expensive. So I'm going to put that back as is. Like I say, I'm going to be taking this off again when my new jets arrive anyway, so I'm not going to knit these up tight. I'm just going to leave these on there to stop any dirt and stuff getting in there until I change the main jets. So I'm literally just going to tighten these, not even tighten them. Just put them in place like that, just to stop any dirt getting in. And that's it. Thanks very much for watching.